Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we've got another very special guest with us for Proof Ponders, and that is going to be none other than Peabnut. How you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing well. Hope you are too.
I'm doing great. I didn't even notice that we got two PB boys in the channel. I mean, it's just gonna be a good episode today. And I want to start things off right away with something that everyone's been talking about recently, which makes sense. It's kind of like the main thing that we do, and that is going to be the Lumirank. And I believe this is the highest you've ever been ranked. Am I right about that?
Correct. Yeah. 47 worldwide.
Damn, 47. Let's go. Huge props to you for that one. Just what were your thoughts of that season?
Um, the end number doesn't matter that much. Um, as long as you have the goal of just like, well, this was my goal. Just go in and do your best. And I like improving. And I like getting good wins. That's just been my goal, and I just continue to travel for it, and then I end up getting this rank, and it's like, oh, cool. It's like a little bonus, a little tiny trophy that that says you did well, but uh, it's not needed per se.
That's so important to hear as well, because I think that's the correct way to view it. Because in a lot of games, the ranking is the end all be all, but I think Ultimate is one of the few examples where it's kind of the opposite, where the ranking doesn't mean anything, unless like of course personal achievements, all that kind of stuff obviously matters a lot. But it's so subjective, and there's three major regions, mainly two regions, that it's hard to pull information from. So yeah, I really appreciate that you're going to tournaments not to get ranked well, but to win those tournaments. And you had a lot of good events in 2024. But before we jump into those, I just really quickly, what's your favorite event that happened before 2024?
That happened, so I didn't necessarily have to attend it.
Ooh. Okay, let's do happened and attended, because that see that's a better question.
hmm Favorite tourney that I've attended. I mean, I have an important tournament series that is in my name. Do you know who Hobbs is?
No, I do not. I see them on your profile though, HobbsCon.
Yes. So Hobbs is a tournament organizer from North Carolina, and they've been just gracious enough to like make a tournament series in my name, pretty much just because it's funny. But at the end of the day, it's like it's happened to be an awesome idea executed well each time. And I would say my favorite tourney is the Peabnut Formal, which happened a couple of years ago now. If you know about like the Players Ball or I think Tri-State has had a tourney before where they had all their competitors dress up formally. We did that as well, and it was awesome.
That's the rules. Yeah, I mean, hey, shouts to Hobbs. I mean, we're putting on events in the Smash scene. That's already someone that's on my good list. But let's get into these 2024 results because they are juicy. We're gonna start off with your one bad placement of the year, which is I believe a 33rd at LMBM. So that's the floor, and my ceiling is like 2-2. So I gotta know, what was that run like as the worst run?
So I recall who I lost to, and I recall who I beat. I lost to MFA in winners, and that was off of like a last hit scenario. And that's Olimar, by the way. Olimar is a character, um, completely disregarding the players that I've played, but just the character itself. That's someone that I've struggled with historically, and MFA was good enough to pilot Olimar to do it to me again, to beat me again. Um, and that that loss was like, okay, enough. I need to actually learn and know what's going on so that I could win in the future. And we'll talk more about that later. Um, but after losing the MFA, then I went into losers and I played Longo. I believe this is the correct order. I believe I played Longo first and I won. Um, and Longo is so nice, very sweet person. After Longo, I played MVD and I won. Same deal, sweet person, or at least very cordial to me. And then I played Cola, and Cola is also someone I've historically had trouble with. I believe he has a perfect record on me in Ultimate, and I'm still working on it. So, well, working on making that not true in the future. So that was my run at LMBM.
Yeah, I mean, it had it. I'm looking at the Smashers app, and it had MFA reported as Falcon. And I was like, something terrible happened there. But it was good to hear that it was with the Olimar. So yeah, as I said, that's like your worst tournament of the season, and then I'd say Invitational was kind of the catalyst for people saying, "Oh, this guy's good," and you had to qualify for Invitational. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
You had to be or not beat Lima, but you did beat Lima. Though, but you get into the Invitational, and it's Invitational isn't like your typical Invitational, but it's still that same sense of this is a very highly, I guess, dense room of super top level play. What's it kind of like to be in that environment?
Um, I love opportunities, and this is a huge opportunity to play Smash with some of the greats. So I took that opportunity. I managed to squeak in some friendlies with Mia, The Buzz, WebJP. Um, I forget if I got any friendlies in with like Light or anyone else. But when I wasn't playing someone, I was studying, and I was kind of, I mean, I guess you could call it antisocial. I was just like on the couch on my laptop studying. But yeah, I'm there for like one purpose.
Yeah, I mean, and it's safe to say that studying definitely paid off because the next day you have what is probably your best run in terms of the numbers in Smash Ultimate, which is going to be that fourth place at Cirque. Do you think you were just feeling different that day, or like what happened?
Um, that and I just prepped really, really hard for that event, and I got lucky. I got lucky in that. Well, there's like many different dimensions of luck that we can talk about, but the one most obvious to me is that I got the people that I studied for. Um, I studied for Mia really hard, and I studied for Shuton really hard. And I, by chance, I don't believe I was projected to play either of those guys. I just went into the event with the mindset I want to beat these guys who hail from Japan because I'm not going to get many opportunities for that, right? At least compared to the U.S. mainstays like Light, DeBuzz, whatever. I'm going to get more opportunities to play them, and I have. But I've only played these guys once each, and I prepared really hard for that, and I happened to win the one time that I played them.
I mean, yeah, it's also a great mindset for it because you're absolutely right. You're not going to be seeing Mia, Shuton, Okola. They're not just going to be showing up to your B tier. So when you play against them, you want to make sure it counts. And if you can get the win, then I mean, you've got a winning record on Mia. Not many people can say that. Like that's definitely an achievement to have. And immediately after that, you end up getting, I believe it was ninth at Collision as well. So just didn't slow down at all. I won't spend too much time on that just because there's other runs I want to talk about, but I do want to ask you about your set versus Super Semi because I think that guy is really, really good. It ends up going game 5 there. Just what was it like playing him?
Um, it was a little jarring. I have decent Young Link experience, just from my time playing the game, but Super Semi was a little different, and I had to. I think I reverse 3-0'd, or it was either a reverse 3-0 or they were just up on me like 2-1 and then almost won game 4 or something like that. Um, it took time for me to adapt to how Super Semi is different, and then once I understood, then I ended up winning convincingly in game 5. I lived to like past 200%.
It took a little bit of extra time to figure it out, especially as yeah, like you said, Mega Man heavy characters. So if you can make that work against Young like that, absolutely. And then there's a couple other B tier events, but just for the sake of time, we'll skip over those and talk about your final major of the season, which was I believe Patchwork, where you once again ended up getting into that top 8.
Yeah.
And
Um, Wait, did you have a specific question about Patchwork?
no, just kind of wrap up to the season. I saw you beat SMUB to get into top 8, which is like how do you feel about that? Because I know that would break my heart, stopping Ridley from getting top 8.
I'm a SMUB fan. This is always that's like the first sentence that I say whenever anyone brings up SMUB in any context. Uh, I love I love the how do I put it? The will to win with Ridley. That's, he's out there doing it.
Yeah.
He's out there doing it. Like I used to have like a very poor opinion of Ridley, and then I saw. Well, the first thing that made me think different was watching Nair beat Spargo a very long time ago, And then the second thing that made me change my opinion on Ridley was just seeing SMUB's consistent success. Um, and yeah, I'm a SMUB fan.
I mean, it's hard not to be. And, like, Ridley's such a weird character because you have like good tools, like Nair broken, F tilt broken, but he's on just such a piece of garbage that it's so hard to make it work. But if you're like Smub and you know when to press the buttons, then it's definitely a character that you can make work. And then your final major so far of 2024 is gonna be Supernova, which again I think by the numbers is one of your bad placements of the year, which is crazy with the 17th at a P tier. But you got to win a TamaP, which is like unbelievable. That guy was somewhere in that top 10 by the end of Lumirank. I think it was 8th. So did you have to take like a ton of research beforehand for the Bale matchup to get ready for that?
Um, so I just happen to have a lot of experience versus Bayo because Lima goes to my school. We are schoolmates. We're on the same team for Winthrop University.
Shoutouts.
So shout outs. And it's normally not enough to just have a lot of experience versus a character because you are going to meet people that are different. You are going to meet people that are Himothy, right? that just play in a way that you aren't prepared for. There are so many ways to play the game. Just playing the subset of um, young links or the subset of Bayos that you have played will not prepare you for every Bayo that exists, right? Um, so uh, in order to prepare for Tama. I did not prepare for Tama ahead of time. Like I did not spend days studying Tama, but I studied Tama when they were at the event. Like I would watch them play sets, and I would be like, "Oh, they're like this.
Yeah.
Oh, they're like that. Oh, okay." And I just have built-in ways to beat this or that in my mind. So then I was able to execute it versus Tama and win.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're playing against Lima, especially, like I'm sure it's a little bit different in friendlies, but in tournament, that is the most brutal style of Bayonetta you're gonna have to play against. At least TamaP wants to run at you and hit you with buttons. But Lima, he's ruthless. So the fact that you have that experience, I'm sure definitely helped. But as you said, there's a lot of different adjustments that you can make, and I don't think that TamaP and Lima could play the character differently or more differently. Like they play at such contradicting styles. So the fact that you were able to get that dub, I think, is so impressive. But I think that kind of ends your big tournament streak again so far in 2024. Do you have any like future plans? Maybe getting outside of NA?
Yes.
Ooh.
So late November, I'm heading to Mexico, Delfino Maza. That's going to be my first international tournament ever, and I'm excited for it. And then I mean, I haven't made any longer term plans, um, or any specific plans, but I would like to go to Japan as well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Delfino Maz is such a great place to start as like your first international because I that event's gonna be so good. Really excited because I didn't know that you were going to that. Now I just want to move on to Mega Man because I really like Mega Man and nobody plays this character. But I want to have your opinion of that. Do you think Mega Man, or just how good do you think Mega Man is?
Really, really good.
Like,
He's. Do you want a number?
yeah, like just rough 5 or 10.
He's. I'll just say top five.
5! Oh my god! Is it because of Z Drop Metal Blade?
Part of it.
Okay. You're gonna need a lot of convincing, but I am here to listen. Why do you think Mega Man is that good?
He can play so many games. He can play using resources that very few characters have, like items, right? He can spawn in an item. Z Drop Blade is broken in many ways. Um, it's like it's. I'm gonna make a. I might make a lot of comparisons, and they might be a little freaky. But just imagine the second this blade that you drop, this item that you drop. That's just like Nana doing something for you, while you're free to do whatever you want, right? Isn't that broken?
Mm-hmm. I play Snake, and I think that's like a really good way to visualize it. It's kind of like you're playing a puppet character when you have items. They just allow you to control things the other characters don't. Now it's a little bit harder with Mega Man. But honestly, that was kind of a fire answer. The fact that he can approach the game in so many different ways. I mean, Pellet is just such an annoying tool universally. Like every single character gets the just so annoying. It's so annoying. Like you can't even sugarcoat it in any way. Um, top 5. I mean, you must think his match chart is like crazy good.
Yeah.
Well, then,
Um,
how does he do against the big three? I always ask everyone how their character does against the big three, which, in my opinion, are Steve, Sonic, Rob. Not because they're necessarily the most common, but almost 100 million billion percent, you're gonna have to beat one of those characters in a top eight. So how do you
mhm,
think Mega Man does against those characters?
I think he does pretty well. Um, Not even talking about my results or
Mm-hmm.
anyone else's results as Mega Man versus those characters. Whatever games these guys try to play, Mega Man has answers. Okay. Think Sonic Spin Dash, a character that Sonic. Think of a character that Sonic struggles with. Um, Go ahead,
Uh,
just name one, maybe name two.
bad example. Let's say Pikachu. Pikachu's probably the one.
Pikachu. I was expecting for you to say either Pikachu or Samus. And can you tell me why Sonic struggles with Pikachu?
Pidgeot is the angle.
Yeah, the angle, and it just like once it does touch the ground, it just goes across the ground, and like the spin dash struggles to go through it.
Like controlling space.
Yeah, Mega Man's got very similar stuff. He's got that T jolt is a Nana, right? That T jolt is a Nana. It's out there doing something. It's controlling space. It is a hitbox that you have to deal with. Meanwhile, the main body, the Pikachu, the Popo, is doing whatever it wants. Mega Man has that with items. You can just toss an item or any projectile, really,
Crash
and
Bomber.
that's your Nana. Crash Bomber. Um, Crash Bomber's really good. Um, Crash Bomber, Metal Blade, and even though we've got like, and the projectiles can be used in like many different directions as well. Because not only do I have like Metal Blade across, but I also have it up and diagonal or down and diagonal, right?
Yeah.
Kind of mimicking the same angle down and diagonal as T Jolt 2. But I wouldn't say the diagonal blade is that great versus Sonic. Um, but whatever projectile I choose, it's gonna be pretty good at not letting Sonic spin the way that he wants to. He will have to change his game. I am making Sonic play a different game from what he wants to. Right? That is powerful. And I would say that's the sign of Mega Man doing well versus Sonic. Not to say that he wins per se, because I think Sonic is still really good. Um, but I'm like getting my lick in, right?
Yeah.
I'm making Sonic think twice.
You can make Sonic think. That's a huge achievement.
Yes.
To make
Yeah.
that character change the game plan is like, I mean, that's pretty monumental in itself. And then it's like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, Mega Man is top five because he does well against. I don't know if we didn't talk about it, but I think he does pretty well against Steve. I wouldn't say it's winning, but you have the tools to beat Steve, which is like that's the bar at this point. I think he does really
Mhm.
really well against Snake. Um, I think he does decent against Game Watch. Um, I just can't think of any characters that are relevant that he does bad against. What are the struggle matchups for Mega Man?
So it's easy for like personal bias to come in here because I personally have like a bad record versus Palutena, but I also used to have a bad record versus Olimar. Um, and then that kind of changed. So I may have a bad record versus Palu now, but I can't be sure that that will hold up in the future, right?
Yeah.
And that's just because Mega Man is that good. If I lose, whenever I lose, I'm I'm of the belief that it is my skill issue, not Mega Man.
Mm-hmm.
Mega Man's not the issue. I am the issue.
That's what I like to do because competitors, remember, it is always your fault. It is never, unless you're playing Greninja, then it might be Greninja's fault a little bit. But every other time, it is your fault. But I love that you have so much faith in Mega Man. Again, I've never heard anyone regard that character so. Oh, everyone thinks Mega Man's falling off. I'm of the opinion that he is good, but he just gets power crept a little bit. But I think his theory stuff is some of the highest in the game, like because of the Metal Blade stuff specifically. But as you were saying, the fact that he just controls space with the pellets is so important. He's got great get off me tools like Leaf Shield. His advantage stays really strong. I think his disadvantage is honestly decent because of you just reset it with up B. Like it's not ideal, but you get to try again pretty much in the disadvantage. I don't. Yeah, I think that you thinking highly of this character, you kind of need to play Mega Man, because you're kind of the last Mega Man left. Obviously there are some other ones, but start of the game you had obviously Kameme. Then post quarantine, you kind of had repo, but now it's really just you. And this is kind of like a conjoint question here, but what is the most meaningful way that you are able to get practice, and are you able to use other Mega Man players' VODs to improve?
Well, um, about a year ago and some change, a year, maybe a year and a half, year and a few months ago, um, I started using a resource of mine, which is a Mega Man Discord. Not like the main one where anyone can join, but a there's a dedicated Mega Man Discord for improvement specifically. And about a year and a half ish ago, I started using that like daily because I was like, okay, here's the situation with Mega Man. He's a little complicated.
A
Let
little.
me make this easier on myself. I'm just gonna use all these other people, and we're just gonna talk, and we're gonna share ideas, and we're gonna improve, and it's gonna take so much of the load off of me. I'm gonna be using their VODs. We're gonna be studying together in VCs. We're gonna be theory crafting all day in the main text channel. I still do it. To this day, I'm grinding with those Mega Men. So you said earlier on the last Mega Man left, it's more like I'm the reason I'm here is I'm kind of taking all those Mega
The
Man's ideas,
combination
all
of the
the
Mega Man. You
yes,
you are the Mega Man. I mean, it just writes itself.
yeah,
That's perfect. I mean, and also great answer. I don't think anyone's ever given that answer. Just like actually using a community with a similar goal to help you improve. Like, of course, and not only are you yourself getting better, but you're also rising that average level of just Mega Man play, which is so great to hear. And we've literally only talked about Mega Man, so I think I know the answer to this. But is there any secondaries that you've been considering? Yeah, I didn't.
never.
I didn't think so. After I heard top five, I was like, I probably shouldn't ask that one, but I wanted to check anyway. I think. Oh, really quick before I forget this one, I just like asking this: is there any homies in your region that you just want to shout out?
Any homies?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Winthrop gang. Um, I just had dinner with them. I just had dinner with my friends CJ, Nico, Justice, Anarchy, and Connor Regalo. So shout outs to them.
Yeah, shouts to the whole squad.
Um, Shout outs to my mom.
That's what I like to
My
hear.
mom is awesome. Yeah. Shout outs to my dog. Not Rush.
Shouts to my dog too. Not the red one. Not the red one. We've seen you against like again. You've got wins on Nia. You've got wins on TamaP. Those are like shoutout as well. That's multiple top 10 wins. Is there anyone right now that you're just like a top 10 rival? It's just someone you want to beat really bad that you're specifically working on, unless you don't want to reveal.
I don't want to reveal.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, I mean everyone. I want to I want to beat everyone.
I think the final thing that I can't get over this Mega Man top 5 point. What do you think Mega Man players need to do in order for other people to start seeing that kind of that next step? What is the next step for Mega Man? There you go. That's a good bit of phrase.
Just kill people. Just you have a lot of ways to kill people as Mega Man. Just go out there and kill people.
Be a little brave. Yeah, people they really don't swing with Mega Man. I feel like the campier characters we fit, I think, also suffers from that. Where you have these crazy swing hitboxes that people are just like, oh, let's crap. All right, yeah. Thank you so much for joining me today. Is there anything that you want to plug before we send you on the road?
I have a YouTube channel now. I'm a YouTuber officially.
Look forward.
Um, yeah, it's not too shabby up here on my super yacht.
Yeah, we're sipping
Um,
our champagne.
mhm. I put out a video recently. It's called Yearning in Smash Bros. It's just 55 minutes unedited of me yapping. I didn't win the Smashy for it, but it got nominated. And I'm gonna be putting out more videos on my YouTube. It's my channel is just Peabnut.
Yeah, and the links will be, I'm sure they're on screen as well, but they will be down below to everything, all the Peanut socials. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.
Bye bye.